Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of Captain of Industry. We're slowly scaling everything up to try and increase the speed of our operation. Oh yeah, and so we can try and produce a lot more. So we need to build these kind of things so we can get the steel up and running. So hopefully we'll start seeing that being done fairly soon. In the meantime, we are in a bit of a bind here with water, so we do need to bring some water from the rest of the system over in this general direction so that we can ultimately tie that in on this side. So we're really only after a tie-in for water right over there. So I guess what we'll need to do is tie it in from this side. So grab me a pipe, just a Mark 1 pipe, I think is going to be more than fine. And what we'll do is we will run it out this way. Necessarily think we need to come underneath there. We can just run it next to this. So let's tie it in somewhere here. We'll go underneath. And we can actively even go out this way. Okay, so let's do up to there. Then we'll do what exactly? I think then we'll need to kind of up it a little bit from there. We'll take it on something like this. Yeah, beautiful. There. No. We want to keep it up at that level. Don't necessarily. Actually, bring it over here. Okay. No. We'll bring it over there. Pick it, and then what we'll do is we'll tie it in as simple as that over in that location. So let's get that little piece of pipe built, because that at least will sort out our immediate water concerns with this area, because they are struggling a little with that. So we should see water making its way through here. Yeah, nice and blue pipe. We're waiting to see some water run through there. Right? Yeah, here we go. It's coming. It's coming. And that should now at least start filling this up a little bit more aggressively. We don't have to worry as much about the water that we're getting here. Okay. And I guess let's quickly have a look. Did we end up cleaning this one out? No, we're still waiting on moving a few more things there. I guess what we can do is we'll keep that in place there, but I don't necessarily want to have this one. Trucks import if belts can't. Right, let's do that one. Okay, so now hopefully water is now sufficient over here. We do have some water available, and water should be generally good, and we can switch that on as well. So, okay, so all of this is now working a little bit more effectively. These are all these belts are full. Actually, if I look at it that way, our iron is starting to dissipate a little bit. But what's happening over here? We're starting to see the numbers come up a little bit more here, which is great to see. It means we can build some more stuff. It also means that this guy probably got built. Excellent. So that guy did get built. Let's pause it there for a minute until such time as we can build at least the first extra round of this. Oh, even this pipe is done. And what is in that pipe? Oxygen. Yeah, good. And we're flaring some stuff out there. Okay, beautiful. Let's do the next batch of this stuff. Yeah. All the way up to say there. Get all of that built. And that is the water connection as well. I like it. And yeah, we're still waiting on a few pieces. Sufficient material. So anyway, that's all good. We'll get all of that up and running in just a minute. We are out of housing, so we'll need to add even another one of these guys. So not that, but in fact, let's do one of those and get cracking on building that one. Okay, so these will slowly get built now, and we'll need to build some of this as well. And I guess that will start bringing in steel. But once this is in place, steel will now start to move through here. Okay, so we're in a position where we are now starting to produce steel. Okay, beautiful. So what we may as well do is we may as well switch that one on and switch that one on and switch this one on. So we'll slowly start to build that. Don't exit the game, please. Okay, beautiful. Now let's have a quick look. If we go into the research, where is our next ship upgrade? Up here. What are we missing? Research lab 2? Okay, fine. We need to go all the way through there before we can actually make our way into that piece of the puzzle. We've got a few things queued up here from a research perspective, so we can do that. Oh, we are out of trees to be harvested. Okay, that's fine. We can move that on. Oh, actually, even that slither has been done. I would like to clear these out if we can. I think I might try and leave some of these old growth trees in here as a bit of an area. And then from there, we'll start trimming up this area at the top over here, because that gives us so much space over here. Now, while we wait, and unfortunately, we are waiting on a ton of stuff, right? We're not too far off from actually finishing this one. So I guess what we can do is we can switch these two on, so that we can actually start producing the steel a little bit more effectively. This thing should be fairly quickly done. Exactly. So now we actively are running steel. Right, let's just quickly double check what we're doing here. So this one is doing 24. That one is taking 24. Yeah. And this one is producing 12, giving 12. Okay, so 24, so it's 1 to 1. Yeah, that's fine. No problem. 1 to 1, so that's all good. All of this stuff is working. All of that's nice and filling up. I like it. Just need to get super aggressive with these things. Okay, now, one of the things I wanted to have a quick look at is the sulfur process. So if we open up the sulfur process, we have two things here. The sour water stripper, I think, is an important one for us, because we can use sour water plus a bit of steam to create sulfur and ammonia and water. Okay, so that's one that we're interested in. The other thing we can do then with a mixer is generate from sulfur, we can generate some acid. So we can upgrade to the second kind of round of stuff. Tree harvester has no trees to harvest. Did we trim that out in like a flash? Okay, beautiful. Let's move on and start trimming out over here. Okay, all of that. So let's start trimming out all of those items there. We'll leave these little ones in here. We'll see if that is something that's kind of useful to us or not. Okay, so let's just so the next round of copper refinement means that we can, if we find our copper industry here, which we've been running, do we have extra recipes here? No, not there. But I guess in this one, we've got a different style of recipe. So instead of using water, we can use acid, which is a way for us to actually use the sulfur. Okay, so that's something that if we are going to bring acid in here, we have the room to kind of bring it in here. Can we do the same thing on this side? I just want to see. Probably can. Not at the moment though, but I think we're ready to go with the water here. We can just change these to acid basically on the copper side of things, but it's not useful on steel. But what we do have, we are currently dumping sour water directly in there, which is a bit of a pollution nightmare. So let us quickly have a bit of a look at what we can do with that process. So we've got so many different things we can start looking at, including a cooling tower. Yeah, we'll have a look at that in a minute. Let's go back to to what are we after? We are after it's a mixer, the mill, the baking unit. Over here we should have derivatives, distillation, sour water stripper. So we are. Let's have a quick look. Where is our sour water coming from? From all of these processes, we've got sour water running, and we've got only this little bit going on over here. Let's see. So do we have distillation stage 3? Let's just have a quick look. When is distillation stage 3 making its way to us? Thermal fermentation, no. Here it is, naphtha processing. Naphtha processing, is it? Distillation stage 3, there we go. And then what we can do is we can start using some of these items. So I guess that's something that we're heading into that direction, but we don't have that just yet. So maybe a temporary setup on the stripper is okay. So what are we producing here? 18, 36. We're using 36, which is exactly one of these units. Okay, beautiful. So one of these units we'll then produce some clean water. So we'll go back into this system over here. Okay, beautiful. So let's flip that around. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so let's flip that around. We should have steam around here somewhere also. We'll have a bit of a look at that in just a minute. So here we go. So we'll add one of these in this location. Okay. And then what we'll need to do is I'm going to quickly pause it while I remove this. Trim that out for me, thanks. Get rid of that. Okay, now with that in mind, now we need to do a fluid pipe balancer over here. Thank you. And we will go ahead and construct that. And yeah, now we're ready to go. We'll get the priority to come in from this one over here. We'll definitely want a little bit of a pipe to go over there. You know what? I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So let's do that. Okay, now give me another pipe balancer in this location, and we'll do that. And basically, the idea is with this in place, the priority needs to be out into that direction, right? So as long as that can work, hopefully that'll help us. Now over here we've got NH3, which is ammonia, right? Ammonia. If I go to recipes and I look for ammonia, I just want to see if there's anything I can do. Not found ammonia? Really? Let's just look for it on here, right? Really? What do we have? Oh yeah, it's the oil ship. H2. Ammonia should be at the top. There we go. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Of course I spelled it wrong. Okay, so ammonia can just be pushed into air pollution, which is like 24 air pollution compared to sour water dump, which I'll have a bit of a look at. Is there anything else we can use with it at the moment? We can create fertilizer with it. With a chemical plant, we can use ammonia and oxygen and generate fertilizer. Okay, or a chemical plant too does that a little bit more aggressively and actually uses a little bit more oxygen. And then what we have is we've got nitrogen that we can flare off. Here we can take ammonia and nitrogen, ammonia and generate nitrogen and hydrogen, which is not something we particularly interested in. So I guess the real one is going to be the chemical plant over here to give us some fertilizers, which we don't really need. So I think in the first instance, we might flare it, right? We might flare it. Let's just have a look at this guy. Yeah, that's very bad. That's very bad. So at least this is an improvement to that situation. Now, we do need to bring in some steam. So let's have a look at what is going on with our steam setup. All of our steam is currently running. So we've got multiple steam situations running here. Just want to see what, I can't remember what all of the steam stuff is. So here we've got priority in. What am I priority out, right? Priority in. Oh, so we're getting in from this side first. Yeah, that makes kind of sense. We're getting this one first, and then these are switched off. It's a bit of a mess, to be honest. But I guess we will have sufficient stuff here. All I need to do is effectively extend this pipe, take it back into that direction. We've got sufficient stuff here. This is, what is this? This is a pipe we could use. It's already there. So all we do is let's flip that pipe around. Right? This is connected to our steam setup. And it's that one at the top there. So all I'll do is I'll grab that one and tie it in basically over there. Excellent. So we're ready to go immediately on that. We'll get a smokestack for the time being. How will we do that, though? It's just, yeah, we'll place it here. We'll tie it in like so. And then we need a bucket for this guy. So give me a big loose storage. Big one, small one. How's our parts are okay. So give me just give me a bucket over here, please. Beautiful, and we'll go ahead and tie that in, and then we'll have some sulfur. So let's get this thing built. Should be all good. Again, we want priority in on this side, please. So once that thing is up and running and working, we are waiting on sour water, which is fine, and we still have the pipe to be dumping it should it be a problem. But so now the stripper will start getting rid of these things as it produces, right? This is pretty full just in general. But probably, yeah, we've got so many trucks doing their thing over here. I'm kind of tempted to bring this oil pipe back. So let me do that. Our diesel pipe. So let's grab some diesel pipe. Take it back. No. Oh my goodness, really? Can you believe it? So we'll do that. Run it up to there. Run it up to here and tie that one in there. And that should at least alleviate some of this stuff over here so that this guy can fill up with diesel pretty quickly and we don't need to import it all the time, basically, right? So that'll help. That'll help. Okay, beautiful. So did the stripper do anything? The output is full. How come? Oh, we can't flare it? Hang on. Oh, we need, what do we need for it? Is this the wrong thing? So what does this do? So let's go back to those recipes. Quickly see. Yeah, we need a flare. Ah, I see. Okay. Well, let's clear this one out then. Get rid of this thing, and we'll do that. And give me a flare. Give me a flare. Here we go. That's the one we're after instead. And what I'll do is I will go and boost that. We'll have the flare and we'll start burning off ammonia at the flare. And that should then at least give us some sulfur. So then we'll have sulfur ready to go. And we do use sulfur, I think, or don't we? At this stage, we're making a rubber. How exactly? Over here somewhere. Oh, we're using coal. If we look at recipes, we can now swap this one over. If we're making enough of this, we can now swap this one over, but it takes more diesel. That is interesting. And I guess if it uses diesel and that, we need to move the rubber maker over there. So let's make the rubber maker take its way over there. Oh, we've got tons of steel ready to go. That's beautiful. Excellent. That's a good start. We'll need to obviously keep this running. I would love to use that for something else, actually. So we'll have a bit of a think on that in just a minute. But let's, for the sake of things, let's get the rubber maker up and running over here. The rubber maker would be using 3 and 12 diesel. Diesel, we've got sufficient amounts. What is this one producing? 9. So we can actively do a bit of rubber in this general area here. Where's our closest diesel? Over there. So we can bring diesel over this way too. No problems whatsoever. So I guess what I'll do is I'll place this one in this location here. We will we'll bring in this guy from there. We will need to bring in some diesel from over this way. I think we'll just kind of tie it off there and bring it over here. Yeah, I think that's the plan. If we were to do that, we go up one. That one. We'll run it over the top of all of this stuff. And once we get here, we'll basically go down and apply that there. So that gives us diesel. And then we just need a box, right? Oh, and the one thing that I'm not thinking of just yet, let's just go back and see. So if we go back to the ammonia recipe here, we can use a chemical plant, but we'll need also... so how much ammonia are we producing? So let's just have a quick look. So we are producing 9 ammonia, right? So a chemical plant is actually a good idea. Well, anyway, let's start. Well, before we get too out of it, let's just get the basic. So give me a chemical plant. Where would we find a chemical plant? Do we not have a chemical plant? If I say chemical plant, are we still waiting on it? We don't have the chemical plant? If we go into research and we just close that and search here and say chemical plant. Oh, we're close. We'll add it to the queue straight away, actually. So before we do remove from the queue, the captain's office is underway. The next thing, let's add the chemical plant. So we'll flare until we get that one up and running, and then we'll move from there. So the only thing I'm missing here is a bit of a box. I think I'll go with the larger of the two. And we'll just tie it in directly like that for the time being. All of that should work. And if we select our recipe, we're going to go with that one. Beautiful. And then the rubber maker should do its trick. Okay, let's build this all together and start moving our rubber production into this area instead. Which will be nice. So now we'll have waiting for product. So it'll get there any minute now. Yeah, here we go. It'll fill up pretty quickly. And we can start making rubber. That's good. So that's the first piece for us. The other piece that we want to do with this is we are actively looking for a mixer, right? That's what it's called. Mixer. So if it's not here, where would it be? Smelting. Copper smelting gives me a mixer over here. And here we can use water plus sulfur, right? And get 36 acid. All right, so we are producing 9 sulfur. We're using 3 sulfur, so we've got 6 sulfur left. This one takes the 6 sulfur plus some water and gives us some acid. Yes. The sulfur and the water gives us acid. Okay. So 36 acid. So if we go back over here and we have a look, if we set this recipe, we'll do 24 acid to be used in this for these 4. So that'll be, hang on, set the recipe. Let's add the recipe, to be honest. No, let's not add the recipe. Let's still have a look. So 6, 12, 24 acid. So we'll have a surplus of acid potentially by doing that. So let's just get the acid over here. And what we'll do is we'll create a storage for acid on the other side. So what we're after is a bit of a mixer, which will use the remainder of the sulfur plus some water, and it'll give us the stuff, right? So what is it's any of these are in and out, right? Kind of. What do I do here? I think I'll just do this. Right, we'll put the mixer right over there. We'll give it the recipe that we're after, which is this one. Okay. Good. Now it's going to take the sulfur from there to, let's get the R button so it actually ties in. Let's do that. We also want a little bit of water. We can take the water out of there and bring it over this way. Yeah. Tie that in. And then we've got, on the output side of things, I think we'll just go with a tank for the time being. Fluid storage, and we'll just tie these together like so, right? And then we've got all of that working. Excellent. So rubber is coming in, and we'll use the remainder of this, which is filling up, and we'll generate some acid, and then we'll actually use the truck to move the acid to the other side of things, right? So there we go. We will get to the ammonia after the chemical plant. We'll have a look at whether we can do some fertilizers over here. But obviously we want to, once we get distillation, this is all a little bit temporary until we get the distillation going. But at least at the moment, all of this stuff should be working. The only issue I really have is that we're not typically not taking from steam from that, but we need so little that it's kind of okay. There we go. That is running, and we're starting to generate some acid over here. We're starting to generate this. This guy is probably not moving all the time because we're waiting for the sour water. And now this is probably not doing its thing anymore, but it's still there in case we wanted to dump some stuff. Okay, so that's brilliant. So now we've got the acid over here. Let's quickly have a look at how we're going to go and tie it in on this side. This will continue to use water, so we will need the water. And so I'm guessing, can we... we go over the top of that? It's kind of what I'm wondering. I'm thinking we do a new one over here. So let's do that. Let's get rid of this pipe. Let's just all the way till there, right? We'll get rid of that pipe. We'll clear it out with Unity. Similarly, and then we'll get the new fluid storage. Can't do it. I can do it here. Should be workable, I think. We do that and we tie it in here. Yeah, that's fine. And similarly, we'd like to tie that one in. It doesn't want to. Okay, let's try it. If we do it over here, yeah, that does seem to want to work. That's fine. We'll just go straight over the top there, right? And what we'll do is we will demolish that section, and what we'll do is we will then Unity build all of this stuff. This needs to then be water, right? And this one, would like you to please clear this one out for me. So take that away so we can bring the other stuff in here. Why is this not pausing the construction, guys? Let's build it. this? Anyway, it'll fill up and it'll do its thing. And we can hopefully get the trucks to quickly move the water from there to there. And just all grab some water, and then we'll swap these over to start using this recipe, and we'll set that recipe as well. And what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and copy, paste, and paste, and that actually will generate then more copper than our current state of affairs. Plus, we're actually using some stuff. So this guy is barely moving, right? Because this stuff is actually coming in from the rain, right? We don't actually have reasonable amounts of water available over here. It's just coming in from the rainwater, basically. So I want this thing all cleaned out, and this won't be water anymore. The moment you finish clearing out that water, I don't want the water to be. Are you picking it up at least? Here we go. Take out the water, move it over here. How much water does these use? These. 6. So a single pipe should be sufficient for at least, I think, all of them, to be honest. Right. Is this thing empty yet? Okay, so now this needs to be acid, please. And instead of emptying it, you can bring whatever acid is available, you can bring it over here. Right, and then we'll start producing it with acid. Beautiful. So that's good. Excellent. Mine control tower has no designations. Okay. I guess what we're going to try and do here is we're going to try and continue to build this out, right? Or at least mining designation. So let's, yeah. I mean, we don't have a lot of room here, but I guess the plan is for us to try and flatten this whole thing out a little bit more. Yeah. I think that is the plan. And what we'll do is we'll go all the way there at the very least, because there's plenty for us to do. It's outside of its designation. I get it. Let's quickly have a look, and what we'll do is we'll trim off one line there for the time being. Then it should stop complaining at us. Okay, so what we've done is we've got glass making. So we've gone the sulfur processing route. We've got that done. We've not done large vehicles. We've not done salt production. We've done copper refinement. That's good. We haven't done water recovery, and we haven't done glass making. And we haven't done the captain's office, but I'm kind of tempted to upgrade the captain's office and see what that is on offer for us. We're out of places, but we do have extra workers ready to go. So let's go ahead and upgrade the captain's office, please. I think that should be okay. We want to start moving this stuff out of here, I think. But let's have a quick look at whether all of this stuff is nice and healthy. We seem to... Oh, no. We are running out of... we're definitely running out of iron here. I guess that's the issue, right? We don't want to expand the iron operation here. We want to move this stuff into a more modular setup, probably in this big block over here, where we use both any iron and steel coming in here, and we'll do that. We'll try and squeeze it into the middle here. We've already got all the wood here ready to go, to be honest. So I guess that is something for us to start having a bit of a look at. I don't think we need more steel just yet. And nitrogen is not a big deal. So the nitrogen is going out, and let's just have a look. So nitrogen straight out is just dumping it. It's not actively causing any pollution. So that's at least a reasonable outcome right there. This should be filling up quite nicely at the moment. Oh, what I want to actually do, I want to come over here and just make sure we're actively emptying this thing. That's the slightly more important pieces that we need to actively empty that one as opposed to fill the other one. But I guess now, we're rubber output is full. Okay, let's do that. Let's quickly copy and at least create one more of these. Then we'll need to start using the rubber. So let's do that. We'll get that one built. So this guy is not going to be the one that's that's blocking us up, but at least we can still drop the sour water out there. Okay, so that's the one. So now what we can do is we can stop this operation in its entirety, right? We don't need this anymore, right? So let's get rid of this guy. We'll get rid of these ones. We don't need to use our coal for this operation anymore. We've already trimmed out whatever that was over there. And what we can do is we can certainly trim out this one. We could trim out that one over there. And yeah, exactly right. I don't think there's anything. What can we do with rubber? We look at rubber. We need rubber for what exactly? So rubber over here. Consumption of rubber is only going into electronics using copper. So what we should be doing is creating tons and tons of electronics with all of our rubber. Right, we've got lots and lots of rubber available. We'll do that. We will use it in some way, shape, or form. Let's clear out some of these additional pipes in here. Bit messy, but slow and steady. We kind of clear out everything that we need to clear out here. We need to slowly start moving some stuff. Did I want to expand this operation? I think the answer is no, because even though we've planned it like this, we need to build 4 more of these if we wanted to do that. And at the moment, I can't really see the value of having more steel. I mean, we'll add a little bit more storage, so at least we've got a bit of a buffer. But everything is starting to look pretty nice over here. Pretty nice. Yeah, so we really need to start looking at our manufacturing of construction parts in this big block over here. We need to look at a bit of a modular setup for that. On this side of things are doing reasonably well. And once the chemical plant is done, we can look at not flaring out the ammonia anymore, but doing a little bit something else with that. But at least now, using that sour water and actually doing some useful things with it, even though we are, seeing tons of trucks having to drive all the way over there to try and sort that out. Let's have a quick look at what our leveling is at over here. So all of these guys are still busy doing their leveling. We've got some dirt stacked up over there ready to go. Yeah, so I guess the next step for us is to start having a look at actually moving this operation into this area also. So probably over here we can start doing that so that we can bring in concrete from this side. So let's have a bit of a look. Our concrete setup is using what are our options here with recipes? Doesn't seem like we have any other options. So I guess for the moment, rotary kiln is the only way for us to create cement. If we have a look over here and say cement, let's just see. So cement is produced by a rotary kiln with gas. Oh, that's not bad. It's an option for us. And then with limestone and hydrogen as also a rotary kiln. That's pretty good, actually. So these things, so we can start having a look at some of these. And that produces steam. Ooh, that's a pretty clean process right there for us. But anyway, for the time being, rotary kilns is what we'll need. So if we're looking at, at least, well, we can do 24. So maybe how many are we doing at the moment, right? So we're doing 2 of them at the moment. And is that sufficient, or we do want to do at least double that, I think. So 4 rotary kilns into 4 of these. And we don't have to build all of them, but we'll do that. We'll get ready for it. So where can I find the kiln? Rotary kiln. Okay, which is the better one of the 2. We'll start it off over here somewhere, right? It's a straight process, straight into that one. So we need to push this back a little bit more. So I'm guessing we finished off the chemical stuff. Okay, so let's start off by placing 1, 2, 3, 4 rotary kilns. Like that. I think that's the starting point, and what we'll do is we'll do the storages on these sides, and then from there we want to be going with some more research actually. So let's go. Now that we've got the chemical plant, we'll go into vehicle management and into, I guess, fertilizers is a good idea. Actually, we can go straight into research lab 2, which will get us the ship upgrade with what? Do we need to do that one? Anyway, that's okay. Let's do the chemical plant's done. We'll do vehicle management. We'll grab the edicts, grab the fertilizer, grab the large generators, the soy farming. Let's just pick up everything, to be honest. We'll get the compactor, we'll move into trains, and we'll add the long train to the list, and then we'll go into research lab 2 to kind of finish that off, right? That's producing. So now from there, we want to do tons of crushers, right? So we'll do the crushers over here to kind of sort that out. And then we want the mixers to be producing the cement, right? It's doing the cement. What is this thing? It's not a mixer, is it? Cement. This is a concrete mixer. Okay. So concrete mixer gets us... Where do we get concrete mixers? Okay, let's just go with mixers, and we'll grab concrete mixer number 2. And what we want is we want to be running... let's flip... Oh, no. I did the wrong thing here. Give me the concrete mixer again. What happened? Oh, hang on. Mixer. Concrete mixer 2. Flip it. Yeah, that's the one. And let's line it up like this. Not that that's super important for us. But what we'll do is we'll line it up like this. Something like that. We'll do 1... flip it again, 2, and we'll copy that setup and do that again over here, and that gives us some expansion capabilities. So that doubles our current level of production. We could obviously look at options of, doubling this setup over here, right? And then we could look at options of doubling this setup, say something like this, right? Give ourselves that much room there, and then we have those options, right? And so let me cut this stuff. What we'll do is we'll try and move it to be nice and central there. We'll do something like that. So that gives us lots of expanding capabilities with regards to these guys. Now, what we also need to do, of course, is we need to run multiple crushers. So let's have a very quick look at that before we end the episode. So if we are saying we're going to use rock and we're going to use slag, the slag needs to go into 1-2 crushers to generate crushed slag to go into the mixers, right? So 1 per mixer. So we need room for at least 4 of those crushers there. And I guess probably we're not going to use that many. So maybe not that many is required. But anyway, so if we're saying crushed slag potentially, we can do... We do 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, and 8, like so. We don't need to build all of them, but that gives us this. And then what we need here is like a big bucket of slag, right? So we'll grab the big loose storage. How are we gonna? Well, I mean, we can just do this, right? We just want to try and give ourselves a little bit of room here for a big bucket. So if we were to say, give ourselves a little bit of room here and say 1, 2, 3, 24 because that can be replaced by a big bucket of slag that we can then run in there, and that can run out and into this area. This one can run straight down this area. And then the other piece that we're after is a rock into we need to crush rock once to go into gravel, and then from there we need to crush all of that. So 24, we need to. So I guess we need at least a ton of these things. So at least 8 crushers on the other side there to be able to at least accommodate that, and maybe even more if we wanted to. But I guess there'll be an upgrade to crushers at some point. So let's just go with 8 as a starting point. So let's make a bit of a copy of these, and what we'll do is I guess that's not really the right thing to do. We do 1 into 3. So what we'll do is we'll grab 3 of them, like so. You know what? It'll be 6. We'll do 6. Do something like this. Right? We'll do 6 of them like that. And then we'll do 2 of them kind of in the middle there. Right? Do something like this. And then we need a big bucket of rock. We'll do it in this corner here. Here we go. So that gives us our concrete setup to go into. So we'll start the planning. We'll start some of this concrete stuff going in here. What we will need on this side as well is we'll need a couple of buckets here. So maybe we'll do. I'm a little worried we're getting a little close here. What we might do is we might do 1, 2 on this side, and we might do exactly the same on that side. 1, 2 over there, and they will have to be feeding into 2 levels of things here. We'll have a look, and that gives us in there. So what I will have a quick look at is I'm going to try and push back a little bit here. So let's do a little bit of leveling exercise activity by just pushing it a tad this way. Right? I know it's outside of a mining designation. Just do that, and what we'll try and do is just try and get that level 4 setup going here. Yeah, so something like that, right? You can do that. So that gives us a little bit of room to maneuver. Yeah, we can even do that. So that should be okay right there. And then we'll keep a little slither there. But at least there's a little bit of room there. So guys, I think that's the major expansion, potential future expansion of our concrete setup. Our concrete brick setup that can then feed with all of these trees, feed into the production of parts 1, because we'll have the trees here, we'll have the concrete come in here, and we have the iron over here. And while I look at it, let's just expand that so we can start bulking up on our iron. And then we'll start running all of this stuff through here into nice big manufacturing processes here. But it's starting to look pretty good. I'm kind of wondering, do we add an extra piece here? How's our food? Food is looking okay. Ooh, we're slowly starting to drop that food number a little bit. I guess we're pretty healthy here. Let's just add 1 more of these guys to the mix as well. Oh, we'll pop that in there. I missed that one, so just do that one. So now at least we can expand our population a little bit more, because we're going to need more workers. But that's slowly getting us to this spot. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please hit that like button. I will see you in the next episode. Do tell me what your thoughts are of our setup. I'm getting happy that we're slowly starting to move some of these things. We're fully loaded on this stuff, and so I guess we're dumping sour water yet again. Because we're not actively using all of that. We need to have a look at the chemical plant in the next episode, and we need to start doing the prep work of this to start moving that out of the way so that we can do it in this area here. And then we need to start looking at some larger vehicles, I think, as well. Guys, thank you so much. As I mentioned, see you next time. Bye-bye.